You want to hear something that sounds completely backwards? What if I told you that the smartest, most brilliant people on Wall Street are often the exact same people most likely to lose all your money? It sounds totally nuts, I know, but it's a hard lesson straight from the 1929 stock market crash, and it's the core idea behind one of the greatest books on building wealth ever written. So let's get into what that really means for you and your money.
And look, this isn't just some theory. Back in 29, when the entire market just poof, vanished and fortunes disappeared overnight, you had all the smartest guys in the room losing everything. But there was this one guy, a professor named Benjamin Graham, who was just calm. While everyone else was hitting the panic button, he was buying, all based on a philosophy that would completely change the game of investing forever.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. The most successful investor in modern history, Warren Buffett, says that Graham's book, The Intelligent Investor, is basically the roadmap for his entire career. I mean, that quote right there, that tells you pretty much everything you need to know about how important this is. But here's the thing, this book isn't really a guide to getting rich quick. It's more of a survival manual. Graham's big warning is that for most of us, the stock market is basically a minefield, just filled with hidden traps. So in this explainer, we're going to decode the 3 biggest secrets he revealed to help you walk through that minefield and come out safely on the other side. Okay, first up, we have to tackle the most fundamental choice you need to make. And it's a question that honestly, most people don't even think to ask themselves. Are you actually an investor, or are you just gambling? Because Graham draws a very, very sharp line in the sand between the two. So his definition is where it all starts. An investment has to have 2 things, and they're totally non-negotiable. First, thorough analysis, meaning you've done the homework. And second, safety of principal, meaning you're protected from catastrophic loss. If you're missing even one of those, Graham says you're not investing, you're speculating, period. And the difference in mindset here is just night and day. Right? The investor uses math. They figure out what a business is actually worth and see if the price is a bargain. The speculator, they're running on pure optimism, a gut feeling, a hot tip that the stock is gonna go up soon. It's the difference between doing your homework and just buying a lottery ticket and hoping for the best. Now for the second secret, which is a really fun one. To explain how an investor should think about the market's crazy mood swings, Graham invented this character, an allegory that has become maybe the most famous story in the history of finance. Let's meet him. His name is Mr. Market. So, picture this. You're a part owner in a business, and you have this partner, Mr. Market, and every single day, without fail, he shows up at your door. His only job is to shout a price at you. He'll either offer to buy your share of the business, or he'll offer to sell you his share. Pretty simple, right? Well, here's the twist. Mr. Market is an emotional wreck. Some days he's totally euphoric, he sees nothing but blue skies, and he'll offer you a ridiculously high price for your share. On those days, you should probably think about selling to the guy. But other days, he's completely depressed, convinced the world is ending, and he'll offer to sell you his shares for pennies on the dollar. And that's when you should be thinking about buying. This all leads to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? Do you let this manic, moody, completely unpredictable partner tell you what your actual business is worth on any given day? The answer, of course, is absolutely not. You've done the analysis. You know what your business is worth. His mood swings are his problem, not yours. And yet, the incredible irony is that most people do the exact opposite. When Mr. Market is happy, they get excited and buy high. When he's panicking, they panic too and sell low. Graham just nails it with this quote. As an investor, your ability to think for yourself and ignore the crowd is your single biggest advantage. The second you let that herd mentality take over, whether it's greed or fear, you've literally turned your greatest strength into your biggest weakness. And all of this brings us to the grand finale, the third and final secret that ties everything else together. Graham believed this concept was the ultimate weapon, the one thing an investor absolutely needs to protect their money and guarantee long-term success. In fact, he said that if you only remember one single concept from his entire book, it has to be these 3 simple but unbelievably powerful words. I mean, these words are the absolute bedrock of all value investing. They are your shield against the single greatest risk in the market, the risk of being wrong. Margin of safety. It's such a beautifully simple idea. And what's cool is that Graham actually borrowed it, not from the world of finance, but from engineering. Yeah, think of it like building a bridge. If an engineer knows that a 10,000-pound truck is going to drive over it, they don't design the bridge to hold exactly 10,000 pounds. That would be insane. No, they build it to hold 30,000 pounds. That extra 20,000 pounds of capacity, that's the margin of safety. It protects against mistakes, bad weather, anything you can't predict. So let's bring that back to investing. You do your thorough analysis, and you calculate that one share of a company is truly intrinsically worth $100. Okay, that's your number. So what do? Do you run out and buy it for $99? Or even $90? No way. An intelligent investor waits patiently for Mr. Market to have one of his bad days and offer to sell that same share for, let's say, $60. That $40 gap, the difference between what it's worth and what you paid, that is your margin of safety. It is your financial cushion. It's your buffer against bad luck, against your own miscalculations, and just against the general chaos of the world. And this quote reveals the true genius of it. When you have a big margin of safety, you don't need a crystal ball. You don't have to perfectly predict the future. You can be a little bit wrong about the economy or the industry or even the company's performance and still come out okay because you built in that massive buffer. So you see how it all connects? You start by deciding to be an investor, not a speculator. Then you use Mr. Market's emotional problems to your advantage. And you protect yourself in every single transaction by demanding a margin of safety. It all points to one core mindset. And this really is the ultimate summary of Graham's entire philosophy. He taught us that success in investing has very little to do with your IQ. It's not about complex formulas. It's about your temperament. It is, at its heart, a game where money flows from the impatient to the patient. So the final question really is for you. Now that you've got Graham's 3 secrets, what's it going to be? Are you going to let Mr. Market and his crazy mood swings control your financial future? Or are you going to be the intelligent investor, the one who waits patiently for him to make a mistake? The choice is all yours.